Shields up, Iron Breakers. Paragon here coming at you with another video, and today we're going to be taking a look at Paragon. Yes, indeed, the NDA has finally been lifted, and that allows me to do live commentary on the game. The purpose of today's video is for me to showcase some of the basic gameplay mechanics during a match so that you guys get a basic understanding of how the game works and how it's different from all the other MOBAs in the market and all that kinds of good stuff. So the previous gameplay video that I did for you guys was a post commentary where I played Howitzer, if you guys remember that. But today's video we're actually going to be going live, and hopefully I can delve into the more nitty-gritty of the gameplay mechanics and all that good stuff. Now, I do not currently have any pre-made decks because they were wiped. I have a bunch of cards waiting for me on my profile because of the current level I have in the beta or something, but I will be making a separate video where I will be discussing the cards and deck building and all those other aspects of the game. Today we're going to be focusing mainly on the gameplay itself, so we will be using a starter deck. Now, the character I'm going to be playing is Gideon, because I think that a lot of people are going to relate to Gideon, even though my favorite character is hands down Steel. Steel is obviously a tank. Gideon is more of a caster. Like, he's one of those guys that's just going to deal a hell of a lot of damage, and he's fairly easy to play in my opinion, even though he's not one of the starred characters. I wonder why. But yeah, we're going to be playing Gideon, and before we get into the game, let me actually tell you about his abilities. So the left mouse click, we are playing the PC version. I will be making separate videos for the PlayStation 4 version, because I believe that we probably can capture PlayStation 4 version at this point as well. So this is the PC version right now. Is basic attack, which is a left click, is just a basic, like, throw a little purple fireball type of thing, which we will be doing constantly. His burden ability, which is the right mouse button, is actually going to shoot a projectile that is going to tether into an enemy hero, and it is going to slow him down. So it's kind of a slowing effect, which is very useful to combo together with his Cosmic Rift, which is a beast AoE that is just amazing for clearing lanes as well as smashing people over the head with rocks. So essentially you will want to try to burden your opponents and then Q on top of them. Your E is a teleport, which will allow you to just teleport to a different location. It's kind of like an escape mechanic or an offensive mechanic, depending on how you want to use it. And then your ultimate is just a beast's AoE ability that kind of sucks people in and deals damage to them, as well as it also provides you with a minor shield. Now, Gideon also has a passive ability, but I don't really remember how to see that. Is there a way to, like, inspect? Can we see his abilities? Passive, Energy Pierce. Gideon has a small amount of free Energy Pierce. I believe his passive used to be different. They might have changed that. But okay, he has a small amount of free Energy Pierce. This means that if your opponents start getting magic resists, which in this case is energy resist, he will actually still deal a bit of damage through that resistance. Anyway, we're going to be playing solo versus AIs. This means just AIs on our team, which will hopefully lead to a tame match that will allow me to kind of just slack a little bit and talk you guys through a lot of the gameplay mechanics. And here we are at the start match screen. You guys can see that there is a big map on the upper right corner. That is because the map is extremely important. I can see that they seem to have changed the map somewhat to represent the paths in the jungle and whatnot. That is somewhat of a new feature that was not present on the earlier builds. So you can see that our AIs are all heading out into their respective lanes and whatnot. And while they're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and go to the shop. So we're going to have to pick starter deck. You select your deck as you enter the match. So the only decks we have available right now is the starter deck. Now, on the starter deck, we have a bunch of cards that we have available to us. I will go through each of these cards as we are buying them. However, for the very start, what you really want to get yourself is a health potion, a mana potion, either a Harvester's Key or a Scout's Ward. So we're going to go with the Scout's Ward. This allows us to place a ward on the ground. At the start of the match, everyone gets 3 points, and as you play through the game, you will earn more points, which will allow you to equip more cards. Now, the more cards you have, the more effective you are going to be in dishing out damage to your opponents. You can also see that we have a bunch of abilities on the lower right-hand side. These are the abilities that you can unlock right now at the very start. And we're going to start by unlocking our Q, which is as simple as pressing Control and Q. Now, you guys might be looking at the screen and be wondering, why exactly is there like blue lines all over the screen? That is because currently we are in travel mode. So let me actually get out of travel mode. This is what you will normally look like when you are just engaging in fights. This is the kind of speed that you can expect from your character when you are engaged in the fight. However, when you are not engaged in the fight, you can just hit the left shift. It takes a while to channel, and you will go into travel mode. Looks like one of our dudes has been killed because I was just sitting back trying to explain to you guys the mechanics and whatnot. Who the hell died anyways? That would be Steel? I don't know. Someone in my team died. Let's see if we can fix this. So you guys can see this is the basic attack. We are shooting at the enemy team's Grux over here. Since he's an AI, he's going to be pretty weak sauce. I'm going to try... I was trying to see if I could boost to get him for the last hit, but nope. I should have actually queued, which would allow me to go ahead and do an AoE like so. This is our AoE ability. Crashing down on top of this minion wave. You can see our Steel engaging a little bit on the enemy team's Muriel. She is a support type character, so there's not a whole lot she can do. And at this point, you guys might be wondering, what exactly are these little orange orbs? These are experience. So whenever you kill these minions with a last hit, the experience automatically comes to you. If they just die, you have to manually pick up the experience. Also, if you last hit, there is somewhat of a little bit of an experience bonus. But it's not a huge deal, in my opinion, from what I've played so far. So you don't necessarily have to, like, focus 100% on last hitting if you do not want. Now, let's go ahead and level up another ability. What do we have here? We have Torn Space. Ooh, we have to actually unlock the secondaries now, such as Burden, which I will unlock Burden. In the meantime, Steel is just engaging on the enemies here. I will Burden that Grux and AoE on top of him, trying to cut off his escape a little bit, and Grux is going to go down, maybe, yep. Grux goes down, and I'm going to be moving back now. You can see that my health is a little bit on the low side, but this is why we have health and mana potions. So, looks like one of our towers is under attack by the enemy, but hopefully they'll sustain there. That is Murdoch, who is facing off against, is that a Decker? I don't know what that character is. I can't recognize the silhouette at this distance. But we're just going to hang on our lane a little bit here and just get a little bit more experience. I just want to put my team in a bit of a more dominant position before I start going into the jungle and telling you guys about the mechanics you can expect in the jungle. So now let's unlock our teleport ability, because I like unlocking each ability before we actually start investing heavily into one of our abilities. Now, throughout this gameplay, I will be investing heavily into Q now that I've unlocked all the abilities. So you guys have seen the Burden already, which was when I slowed down the enemy team's Grux. And you guys have seen the Meteor Shower there. Meteor Shower is great for lane clear. Remember that your mana potions as well as health potions are actually fairly slow to take effect, so you will not want to use them in a panic situation. You will want to be sure that you are kept up as you are moving forward. So we now have another level to upgrade abilities, and we're going to be upgrading our Cosmic Rift a little bit more. Wow, that Muriel being aggressive. You sure about that, Muriel? We are currently level 4. Ooh. Man, these AIs aren't joking around. The first time that I played against the AIs, they were a joke. I guess they kind of made them a little bit more aggressive. But as I was saying, we are currently level 4, and as you get to level 5, this is when you get access to your ultimate, which at that point becomes an amazing place to start ganking as Gideon, which is the character that we're playing. So let's go ahead and unlock our ultimate. That is unlocked. Wow, this Muriel, though. Really, Muriel? Are you sure about that? What about if I do this and this? How about now, Muriel? Talk to me now. That would be our ultimate right there. We almost killed the enemy team's Muriel, and I'm going to go ahead and see if I can charge her. Where are you going? Ah, she knows. These guys are smart. So what we did there was we dived with our teleport on top of the enemy team's character, and we just ultied her. Now, that is not necessarily the best use of the ultimate, because usually you will want to try and use your ultimate together with your Q so that you can actually, you know, kill enemies and whatnot. Anyway, let's talk about towers while we're down here. Let me just clear up a couple of minions. We should have another minion wave coming in. So if you look at the tower, there's a number on top of it. This number is what tells you how many of your minions are in range of the tower. Now, something special about towers in Paragon is that if you do not have minions attacking the tower, they actually take considerably less damage. So say if you try diving a tower, that is a bad idea because the tower is going to take considerably less damage. And if the tower hits you, as you can see, it hurts quite a bit. Meantime, Muriel's back, and we are currently not in the best of positions because we've expended all of the charges in our healing potion as well as our mana potion. I'm not sure if you guys have been noticing, but every time that I use a potion, it actually uses up one of the 3 charges. You guys can see 3 slots which are currently represented in black. Oh no, this is bad. Is Muriel going to get us? This is unacceptable. No, she's backing off. Okay, so we're going to cancel that ability. And I'm going to be moving back, and I'm going to go back to base. Now, if you see, we have currently a sentence there that says unspent points 3. That means that we have 3 points to spend in cards, and usually the bigger cards as well as the bigger upgrades, they tend to cost around 3 points, so it's a good time to come back. Now, in here we have energy damage and mana, energy damage and health, mana and energy damage, except that the difference between these two is that once you fully upgrade this card, it's going to increase your energy damage, whereas if you fully upgrade this one, it will increase your cooldown reduction. Now, personally, I really like cooldown reduction on Gideon because most of his damage comes from his abilities, so I'm going to go ahead and equip the one that's going to give us, eventually, cooldown reduction. And that's going to be what we stick with because it's the only 3 points we have. Actually, no, we have 3 more points, which means we can also upgrade this. Now, the way that the card system works here is that you notice each of the big cards, they have 3 slots. So having a card fully upgraded means filling up those 3 slots with upgrades. So you have 2 types of cards, the cards themselves and the upgrade cards. So once you click on a card, it will tell you the upgrades that you have available on your deck. This is a starter deck, so it's fairly basic. We're going to go with Major Cast, which will increase our damage some more. Ideally, in Paragon, what you would want to do, at least from my personal experience, and as you are learning, this is what I would advise you to do, is buy a card fully upgraded and only then proceed onwards to the next card. That's just my advice, but you can do it whatever every way you want. So if instead of upgrading this, if I wanted to go ahead and buy another card like energy damage and max health, I could totally do that. But again, my advice, upgrade your cards before you move onwards. Also, we have new abilities to upgrade. Like I said, we're going to be focusing on our Q, which is our AoE damage. And these AIs are not giving me a lot of time to just slack back and explain you guys the game mechanics. Now, if you notice, Muriel is currently advancing on our tower, and you can see our tower's energy, which is represented in the map right there in the middle as a pie chart. So obviously, the darker the pie chart gets, the worse you're going to be off. So let's go ahead and collect some of the experience. As you can see, there's one advantage to having these experience bubbles pop up. And that is the fact that if your minions kill stuff, for a while you will have these experience things on the ground there. And that will allow you to still collect some of the experience from your minions killing stuff. Either way, I'm going to be pushing pretty heavily now that we have a little bit more damage, or maybe even considerably more damage. I'm going to be pushing as hard as I possibly can into the enemy tower so that it gives us a little bit of breathing room so that I can start telling you guys about jungle and some of the mechanics in the jungle itself. So let's go ahead and see if we can get some momentum. And we are getting, once again, another upgrade. Now, the difference here is that at a certain point, you will kind of have to upgrade different skills as opposed to just upgrading the skill that you want, so that you're kind of forced into a better build. However, you can also upgrade your basic attack, which just became unlocked, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Anyway, this tower is about to go down. You can see, once again, we have 5 minions in range. The reason that number is there is so that you know when you have to back off without having necessarily to count how many minions do I still have here? How long can I stay here? And now that we've gotten a little bit of leeway on our tower, we're going to go into the jungle here, but not for the purpose of jungling, specifically for the purpose of ganking the enemy team, which is gaining a little bit of an advantage. Now I'm going to try and see if I can get a beast gank going here. Oh, I forgot to click. My bad. I totally screwed up that gank. And now I'm going to die. Once you die, you get a bit of a respawn timer just like any other MOBA. And you can then cycle through cameras to see what the rest of your team is doing. So what happened there is that I'm used to kind of spamming skills, and I forgot to press the left click after I pressed my ultimate. Which is okay, because we can still come back from it. I would have probably killed 3 people there if I hadn't messed up, but I'm not super used to playing Gideon, so bear with me. The reason I selected Gideon to play right now was because I think it's going to be a character that is going to appeal to a great big majority of you guys. Anyway, we picked up another upgrade on our card, which was another major cast, which is going to increase our damage considerably, and now we're heading out into the lane. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to talk to you guys about the extractors. Now, you guys will notice that on the map there are these little tower symbols in the jungle, and I will try and explain to you guys what these towers are all about. So as you can see, they have a little energy bar that's slowly filling up. These have been conquered by my team, which means that currently they will provide experience to us so long as we step in here. And the experience from these extractors goes for the entire team. So this is usually something that you will want to have your junglers focusing on. You know, you'll want your junglers to try and capture these as often as they possibly can. Let me just lower the volume. The volume is so loud, it's really distracting. So that is the harvesters. There's plenty of them spread throughout the jungle. And beyond the harvesters, there's a couple of more mechanics in the jungle here. Naturally, you will have minions in the jungle, which will allow your junglers to be effective at not being on lanes as often. Such as, let's say, these guys over here. They have blue buff. I can come over here, instantly get blue buff, and you guys will see what the blue buff does. I'll just get rid of these. Come on, blue buff. You know you're gonna die. There's the Q again. And he goes down, he drops this little orb. You pick up the orb, you get the blue buff. Apparently there's nothing that indicates what the blue buff does on the UI right now. Damn it. They need to work that back in. But basically what the blue buff does is it reduces your cooldowns, increases your energy regeneration, as well as attack speed. However, if you guys take a look at the map right now, it looks like our left lane is taking quite the beating, so I'm going to go ahead and try to head over there and protect them a little bit. Now, you guys might be noticing that even though I'm recording this at 60 FPS, I don't think I'm hitting 60 FPS. This is because I completely maxed out the graphics, and maybe my 970 is getting a little old because it can't seem to be handling all that. It doesn't seem to be handling it all that well. So let's go ahead and upgrade another skill here. Let's go for coin space. Oh crap. Get the hell out of here. That was a beast of an AoE from the enemy team. Good job. These AIs completely wrecking my face right now. Whoa! Way too much aggression from this gadget right now. Okay. I might actually die if I stay here too long. This is a terrible idea. Or I might just dive them. Like, that might be a thing. There's the ultimate. And as you guys can see, that was pretty effective. We almost got a double kill. We did kill one of them. And I am going to try to chase after the other one, but I'm not sure if I'm going to make it. And she also has a pretty beast of an attack, so I got to be careful with that. Looks like I missed my attack there. I will be trying to cut her off with my AoE. Oh my god, really? No, I refuse. You will... Maybe not, maybe not, never mind. No, no, can we be friends? Please? Maybe not. So I got a little bit greedy there, as you guys could tell, and the AI has completely punished me for it. Now, I am a little bit rusty because I haven't played Paragon in a while. Anyway, let's go ahead. While you're dead, you can also access the store and see what you want to upgrade, and I'm going to upgrade our Chronomancer's Disc with another major cast, and that is going to make it with the 5% cooldown reduction now. So now we have all of the benefits of this card, which is 75.8 energy damage as well as 75 mana, and the 5% cooldown reduction, which is pretty good. Our next card is probably going to be to get some health so that we can become a little bit tankier, and it will allow us to take a little bit more damage. So in the meantime, our right lane is getting a lot of work done, which is good. As you can see, the levels are not team-wide like in Heroes of Storm. If I press tab here, you can see the level layout right now. Each character has different levels. You can also see what each character is building. You will learn to recognize each of those symbols as the artwork for each of the cards will reveal different things. And now, you guys have seen that there's a blue buff on the jungle. There's also a black buff on the jungle, which I'm not going to get it. I just want to tell you guys where it is and what it does, so that you guys know of all the things that are available on jungle. And there's this guy. This guy right here. This is the black buff. This will increase your damage on structures. Then there's another thing on the jungle that I would like to show you, which is very interesting. There's also a red buff, which just flat out increases the amount of damage that you deal. But there is another creature here, which is very interesting, and that is this guy. So this guy gives you the Prime Helix Orb. And the way this works is, in order to kill this guy for starters, you're going to need more than just one player, at least at level 9. I'm not going to be able to solo him. If I was to try, I would probably fail. But when you kill him, he drops an orb. Once he drops that orb and you pick it up, a sign will show up on the map for the location that you have to take that orb. If you take that orb to the specific location, you will gain a special buff, which is called the Prime Helix buff. And that buff is pretty beast, and it will depend on the deck that you currently have. Let's see if we can gank this Grux over here. He's fairly out of position. Yep, he's down. Oh, the Muriel took my kill? Oh no, a lot of enemies. What? Oh, I just pressed R by mistake. So, here's the problem, people. I've been playing a lot of shooters recently, and R is the universal key for reloading. And so, R is also the key for your ultimates here, so you guys can guess what happened there. Looks like our steel is going to die. I will be hitting that rampage for as hard as I possibly can. I'm going to shoot it a little bit behind him so that he can't get away. Down he goes. Looks like Gadget's still going to get in a little bit of a ras on me, but that'll be fine. See, this is why I need a little bit more health so that I can withstand that arrest from Gadget. A little bit more, at least in my opinion. Let's go ahead and see if I can get this Gadget. I'm going to try to position myself behind her with Travel Form. However, Travel Form isn't all just, you know, it's not all just pink, how does it say, rose-tinted glasses? Travel Form has one major disadvantage, and that is the fact that if you get hit while you're in Travel Form, let me see if I can do that for you here, I'll probably die. Oops, wait a second, I was not in Travel Form just yet. Wow, this Grux. Okay, Grux, take that then. Yeah, I figured you didn't like that. Now, as I was saying, if you get hit while you're in Travel Form, you are going to become slow. Let me see if Muriel here will hit me. Muriel, shoot me, please. Shoot me, Muriel. There, see, I'm rooted now, and I can't move. That is the main disadvantage of running around in Travel Form and engaging in Travel Form, is that if you get out of position, you're going to get heavily punished. So there, we moved away from Muriel's ability, and now I'm going to be going back to base, because as you guys can see, I have 6 unspent points, and I'm going to teleport back here so that I can collect this extractor while I'm teleporting out. Pressing B anywhere on the map obviously takes you back to base. This works for every character. It's pretty simple mobile functionality. Let's go back into the store, and what we're going to pick up now is, like I said, we're going to go for the Staff of Ediment. That is going to give us additional health. And since we have 6 points, I can also get the first upgrade there. We're going to get Major Cast. However, I don't think that we're going to have enough Major Casts to like fill everything I want with Major Cast, because this is a starter deck after all, and it is supposed to be slightly weaker than your average actually pre-built deck. But like I said, I will be making a separate video focusing exclusively on decks. So at this point, you guys know about minion waves, how to get experience from minion waves, the fact that the small little orbs drop down. Someone actually made a comment in one of my videos that I thought was interesting. I never thought of it like that. But you can technically deny some experience to your enemies by simply guarding their EXP orbs and not allowing them to come in and collect them. So there is some kind of, like, you see these black orbs over here? These are the enemy team's orbs. So if you kind of keep them from coming here, you are effectively denying some of their experience. Now that's not nice, locking our steel in. Why would you do that, Decker? Why would you do that? So let's go ahead and pressure this Decker into leaving her tower. Ooh, the Twin Blast ultimate. One of the most powerful abilities in the game right here. You will see a lot of rage coming from people when they get decimated by this ability. I've seen it happen plenty of times. Basically, Twin Blast is your, I think is one of the most effective AD carries at this point. And once he goes with that ultimate, he is just completely and utterly devastating. Okay, so I'm going to dive this ramp. Actually, no. Diving a rampage is a bad idea because he can leap out of it. But I will damage him as much as I can. You see him try to leap out there. However, now he is in his ultimate form, which means he's going to... Come on, Rampage, turn around. I'm right here. Right here, Rampage. Basically, while he's like this, he has a ton more hit points, as you can clearly see, but he's still going to go down. These are AIs at the end of the day. However, at the mid lane, that Muriel is getting some work done. You guys will notice that there's an invisibility mechanic there as well. Those little pools of water act as a brush. But the interesting concept around invisibility in Paragon is that instead of it being invisibility, you're actually going into a place called the Shadow Realm. And if you're invisible, basically you can see people who are also invisible. No, you're not going to get away from here. Nope, sorry, Muriel. You're done deal. You are done deal, Muriel. You don't get to walk away from this. Nope, 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 nope. Just not going to happen. Like I said, she was not going to walk away from that. So now I'm going to clear up a little bit of this wave here. We can push it back. So up until this point, we haven't really discussed stuff like inhibitors or the core, but we are getting to a point in the game where things like that are going to be coming into effect. So I'm going to try and keep my mana as much as possible so that we can push forward here. You can see that I currently have 6 unspent points. This means that I could go back to base and fully upgrade my other card that I currently have. And we just got another level. I'm going to level up my Q some more. My Q is actually maxed out at this point. You can see that by the pips on top of the abilities on the right-hand corner. Let's go ahead and keep moving here. Going to drink another mana potion. The potions become considerably less effective as the game goes on, in my personal opinion. Going to kill a couple more of these guys. Now, one of the interesting questions that I always see, or one of the points brought up whenever people start talking about Paragon is like, it's essentially like Smite. And the big difference for me between this and Smite is that in Smite, you essentially aim on a horizontal plane. So you aim like this to the sides. You never really aim up. And there's no reason to aim up because all of the combat takes place on a plane like this. So say you can't have something like a fight with where someone comes in from here. You know, where they're actually in a different plane and you never have to aim down or up because everything's on the same plane. And that's one of the major differences. And some of you might say that's a minor thing. It is so not a minor thing because like someone leaping in from the jungle, for instance, someone like Rampage, leaping up from a point that you never thought someone could come to because you're just not used to thinking like that when you're in a MOBA. So like, for instance, let me show you guys a possible scenario. So say... people are fighting this. There's a tower over here, right? So say people are fighting in this section somewhere, right? There's no way to come up here because this is a gap. I can't just come up here. Now think of a Rampage who can jump and he just jumps out of here out of nowhere and joins in the fight, or even myself because I can teleport. But only certain characters can do this. So not every character. I thought you could teleport up there. I think I've done it. Yeah. See, like right now, I can just do this, teleport up here, and just jump into the middle of a fight here and cast an ultimate and just decimate the enemy team. Stuff like that you will not see in Smite because there's no such thing as the concept of the Z-axis in the 3D plane. It's just everything is on a 2D plane for all its essences. Which also answers the question that a lot of people constantly ask, which is, isn't this basically like League of Legends or Dota 2 with a different perspective? No, because again, there's a lot more to strategize when you actually have a Z-axis. These mobs over here, which don't have a particular color, these are just experience mobs. So these are for your junglers to just walk around through the jungle and gain a little bit of the XP. Let me get some mana, and now let's go back up here. This tower is down. Let's go ahead and help our little Steel. Steel, which is my favorite character. You guys can probably imagine why, because he's got a shield and he's a badass. I'm going to go ahead and gank this Muriel. Cut off her escape as much as I can. She's trying to slow down her Steel. These are my two favorite characters that you guys are seeing in front of us, by the way. Steel and Muriel, which is the typical tank and the typical support. Those are the two characters I care about the most. Now, we have 9 points right now. I'm not sure what our Steel is doing. He's acting a little bit suicidal, and he's probably going to get himself killed because he's engaging the enemy team beneath their tower, and there's really not a whole lot I can do to help him in that situation. I mean, I can help him now with my ultimate, preventing Grux from chasing him, and he's going to ult on top of me, but Grux is going to go down. That ult on top of Grux was so not necessary, though. Either way, I'm going to back away from this. Now, if the enemy team's gadget was maybe a little bit smarter, she could try and stop me. Oh, there's the Twin Blast ult that I told you guys about. That ultimate just completely desecrates people. So we're going to go back to base. Like I said, we have 9 points. That is enough for us to fully upgrade our current card that we're working on. And we can actually do Major Cast all the way. I think they might have upgraded the basic decks a little bit, because I don't think you could do like 2 full cards with Major Cast back in my day. So I'm going to go get another Chronomancer's disc because I want to go... Can I? Or do I not have them anymore? Or can I... Oh, no, I don't have any more of these, or these. Okay, so you see when it says empty, you can't... This UI is constantly changing, so I wasn't expecting that thing to say empty. So we're going to get another card that gives us health and damage to become a little bit tankier. But again, these are all things that will vary according to the build that you use. Now, since this is an AI game, I didn't really make much use of wards because the AIs don't seem to be super programmed right now to take advantage of ganking situations. But I will use a ward now just to show you guys what it looks like. Let's clear this lane before it wipes out our tower here. And while we're doing that, let's go ahead and upgrade our teleport a little bit. So what you can do with orbs is with the wards is, say for instance you suspect that enemies might come and gank you from here. You put that down. That thing will reveal enemies even if they're out of your line of sight, just like any ward in any MOBA game. Okay, Muriel, you're just asking to die at this point, and I'll be happy to oblige if that's what you want. There you go. You asked for it, Muriel, and now you just sit there and take it. Wow, this Muriel is tanky as hell. Die already! Okay, and Muriel goes down. We are currently level 13. If I'm not mistaken, level 15 is the max level that you can reach throughout a match. But regardless of that, I do believe that it is time for me to start telling you guys about the mechanics of things like inhibitors and whatnot, so we're going to go ahead and focus on that. Just going to push our lane out a little bit. See, this is another one of the advantages of Gideon, is the fact that he just pushes lanes like nobody's business. Like this Q, and particularly when you go for low cooldown builds, like what I'm trying to do here, they're just ridiculous, because you can constantly have your Q up and just spam it as you move forwards and forwards towards the enemy base. So that right there in the middle, it looks kind of like a tower, but if you guys notice, the symbol on the map is quite different, and that is an inhibitor. And once we bust that down, it is going to start spawning in super minions. Super minions in this game, they don't mess around. Super minions will jack your base up like nobody's business, so they actually apply serious pressure. Now, if you're playing with a well-coordinated team, once you get down 1 or 2 inhibitors, what you want to try to work on is that Prime Helix buff that I told you earlier, but naturally we're playing with AIs. I'm not sure if they will follow my lead on the whole Prime Helix thing. However, Rampage, really? Come on, dude. This tower's going to go down. There's nothing you can do about it. And I'm going to leave, and you're going to be like, why? Why, Gideon? Why you bully me like this? But anyway, as I was saying, something that we can do is I can show you guys the communications feature if that is currently active in this build, and I hope it is, otherwise I'm going to look like an idiot. But if you press C, there we go. There are a couple of options that you have from here, and this will allow you to do different things. You can also press escape to bring that back out, but ideally this is your quick pinging system. Now, say if I were to tell my AIs to do something like attack or prime. I don't know if they'll obey me, but notice how there's a pinging on the map, because it instantly marks the thing that you want them to do. So this is very useful for player communication. You can use it a couple of times. I'm not sure if I'm going to get enough of their attention, but I'm still going to try and see if I can kill this damn thing. I think I should be able to at level 14. It just takes a while. But I really do want to show you guys the mechanics of or Prime. Let me go ahead and call my dudes again. I'm not sure if they will come and help. But again, on a well-coordinated team, or just maybe player teams that will recognize when they should be doing things, this could be very, very useful. Now, naturally, he's going to get leashed if I let him go away, so I want to try and avoid that. Come on, Orb Prime. You know you want to go down. Doesn't look like anybody's going to come in here and help me, unfortunately, because they are AIs. But at least you guys got to see the communication system. It also works like that for the PlayStation 4, which makes it a lot easier for people to do things like pinging and all that kinds of good stuff. And speaking of the PlayStation 4, by the way, if you guys are curious, one of my favorite things about this game is the fact that you have cross-play, but not only that, cross-play as well as cross-progression in the PlayStation 4 and the PC. So if I was to log in on my PlayStation 4 right now, I would have all of my cards, all of my heroes unlocked, all of that stuff. You would have all of that in the PS4. Now, let me just get myself another card here. I'm going to go for another major cast, and you guys will see now it says empty, which means I have no more major casts, so I'll have to go for the crappier ones, which cost less points, but it's whatever. We currently have one unspent point, and considering how much we have been using our ward, I'm going to get rid of it. And the advantage here is you really don't lose anything in terms of points. So say I've spent 1 point to get this ward, I discard it, I'm going to get another point, which will allow me to get another cast for that card, which now means it is fully upgraded, and it is adding all that bonus damage on top of whatever it was adding before. So, oh crap, looks like you can't actually teleport with the Orb Prime, my bad. So there's a mechanic I wasn't aware was intentional. I always thought this was a bug, but you cannot teleport back to base if you have the Orb Prime. There you know. Now you know it. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just jump into that jungle. Now, definitely never teleport when you have the Orb Prime, because if this was a player team, they would have instantly capitalized on that and stole the buff. But since this is not a player team, maybe I'll be able to get it again. Yep, I have it. And now if you look at the map on the top right corner, you will see that there's an indicator there, a blue indicator saying you have to go here to get the Prime Helix buff. That's essentially what that thing is doing. Now, that thing is also available to the enemy team, so they can potentially try to ambush you on that location if they know that you're going for the Orb Prime. However, I believe that the AI in this alpha version, I don't think they're quite ready to handle that, so I'm going to go over there. And now an interesting thing about the Orb Prime location is that if you guys look, there is one of those Shadow Realm pools here, which means that potentially everybody can be hiding here. And once you try to get the buff, they just come out of the woodwork and start killing people. Now, for the starter deck on Gideon, the buff that I'm going to get, I think, is ridiculous energy damage. It actually says OP buff to indicate that you have the buff. But everybody else on my team also gets a buff, depending on their choice in their deck. So they can get a damage buff, they can get a health buff, and this is not limited by hero, this is limited by your choice in the deck. So if you want to have, say, a tank, and then have that tank have a hell of a lot of damage once the Orb Prime is up, you can do that. That is a personal choice. Now I'm going to go ahead and do something completely silly, but why the hell not, you know? So this is the orb. The way the orb works is it AoEs people. However, the AoE damage is split among everyone that's in range of everyone that's in range of the core, which means the more people are around the core, the less damage you all take as a result. You guys can see there the end result of the match, which is pretty much similar to every other MOBA. And hopefully you guys know what a Paragon match is all about. All the ins and outs, and obviously there's different strategies that you can have here with the different heroes that are available to you. You just saw this match from the perspective of a offensive caster, spell casty type of guy. And then you gain experience. Actually, it's called reputation now. They used to call them they used to call this the time currency, but reputation apparently is essentially your currency, your in-game currency. And so we got 1,000 reputation for that one match. And what you can do with it afterwards is you also have experience. The experience is to level up the heroes. Now we'll talk about that in a bit. But what you can do with the reputation is you can go to your profile, and right now you can buy decks, not decks, How do you buy cards again? I forget. Oh, you have to go to the store. Store's not open yet. Yeah, but eventually, with this reputation, you will be able to buy card decks. And you can only buy card decks with this reputation. This means that you cannot, you know, buy card decks with real money. Never going to be a thing. So all those pay-to-win things, all those pay-to-win claims and all that bullshit, forget about it. This game is not pay-to-win. In order, decks and cards is the only way that the power of your character will increase. And you can only get those by playing the game. So, once again, just putting all those pay-to-win things to rest. Beyond that, when it comes to heroes, in Paragon, all of these heroes and all of the new heroes will be free. At any point in time, you can play any hero that you want with no restrictions whatsoever. However, then you guys might be wondering, then what's the advantage of, say, owning a hero? Why would you want to own a hero? Is that even a concept? It is, because each hero has like a tree of unlocks which give you rewards. So like, for instance, you can see here, Gideon is going to give you a random reward of common quality, then you're going to get a card pack, then you're going to get a random reward of common quality, and another card pack, and then here you begin some kind of special challenge. I believe this is when you get him to level 5. And once you get him to level 5, I'm not sure if this has been discussed yet or not, but this was something that we discussed at the event. I don't think this is supposed to be classified information. Once you get to level 5, essentially you have to buy the hero, which can be done with in-game currency, in order to get the rest of the rewards. But these rewards are not power. These are just like, you might get a couple of card packs or something, but you still have to play the hero. And even if you get to level 5 and you still don't own the hero, you can keep playing the hero and leveling up that hero until you get him to max level. And at that point, once you buy the hero with the in-game currency or whatever, you get all of the rewards. At least that's the way I think it works. Hopefully I'm not saying anything wrong, because I'm not sure if this has been made public or not. But yeah, I don't think I'm breaking any NDAs with this information. And if I am, please let me know, Epic. I'm sorry. Looks like we have a little bit of a glitch. Alpha is going to be alpha and all that. But yeah, that was the breakdown of a Paragon match. I'll be making a breakdown of cards and what you can do with cards and all that stuff on another video. Hopefully this is useful for you guys. Let me know your opinions in the comments section below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.